Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see how to create this kind of simple body mass index calculator. In this, the user is asked to enter the name, maybe something engineer, and the weight in kilogram, maybe 75, and the height 1.76, whatever it is. So the user will click on calculate BMI, then hello engineer, the name that we have inserted here. Your BMI is this and you are okay in green color. So if I click this clear, the whole data as well as the result will be cleared. If I click exit, it will disappear. Here a point to be noted is that here I have the number of rows that I have here is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So a total of 8 rows will be there. So this will be called row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3 up to row 7, and the column is this column 0 and the column 1. Okay, this is the basic. Because we are going to use the grid system, we are going to use this in our when we are writing the code. So let's go. Now if I enter maybe 2 meter here, let me clear this. So let me give any name, Alex, whatever. Now the weight could be 100, the height 1.7, and calculate BMI. Now it gives me the result in red color. It says you are overweight because it's greater than 25. If the BMI is greater than 25, you are overweight. If the BMI is less than 18.5, you are underweight. If it is in between these two range, it will be you are okay. Now if I clear it, it will be cleared. If I click exit, it disappears. Now let's start. Let me create a new file. BMI new. Let me call it like this. Now I have this space for writing the code. Let me start with the first line of code, that is importing the tkinter from tkinter import everything. Then let me define the window equals capital T small k tkinter. Now let me make it appear on the screen. Window dot main loop. Now this will make my parent window to appear. Now let me give a name to the window dot title, then quotation. Let me give it a name, BMI calculator. Let me give it the geometry, window dot geometry. Now let me give it in the quotation 360 by 300. Okay, now let me check whether this is okay or not. Let me go to run and BMI new. Now it looks fine. Now let me start with defining the heading. Okay, in Python, when we are defining when we are writing our codes, it's good that we give comments on the beginning of our code, so that in the so that later we can check our codes and so on. Now when you are writing a comment, you have to write this hashtag. Then let me say creating heading. Okay, now let me give a name to the heading. Let me call it heading equals label capital L, then window. So this heading will be appearing on the window, and text will be quotation BMI calculator. Now you can change the background color and the border depth, and so on. Okay, now let me give font. If we want, you can give it, as we have been doing, Arial, and the size to be 20, and bold text. However, if you don't like this Arial, you can go to Microsoft Word. You can go here, you can take any type of text that you want. For example, if I want to take this, okay, band strift, semi-bold, semi-condensed, I can take this one and paste it there. Okay, now let me copy this one and paste it there. Now let me paste it here. Now you see this. Now let me make this label appear on the screen. Heading dot grid equals dot grid, row equals 0, column equals 0. Okay, now let me run this. Now you see that the text type is this one. Okay, and the text size is this one, and it's bold. Now you see that it's having this side. Okay, it's not at the center. We will fix it that later. Okay, now let me go to the labels, the name, the weight, and the height. Now let me define it here. Let me give it a comment. Okay, let me leave it like that. Okay, now let me define the name widget. Let me call it name label window. Text will be equal to name, then the font, let me take this one as it is. Okay, copy this one, but I don't want it to be bold. Let me clear this one, and the size, let me make it 14. Okay, let me make it 14, and let me make this one appear on the screen. Name.grid, then row equals, it will be on the next row, that will be row 1. Here it is row 0, here it would be row 1. So row 1 column equals 0. Check this one. You see here I have name, then column. In the same fashion, let me write for the weight and for the height. Let me write here weight, and here again weight. Now let the text be weight in kilograms, and everything is okay. Now let me copy this one and paste it here. Let this be height, and let this be height, and this will be height in meters. In meters. Now the location here, it says row 1. Here it will be row 2. Here it will be row 3. Now let me run this one. You see here name, weight in kilograms, and height in meters. Now you see they are not quite well arranged. One is here, and the other is, and the other is here. Now let me make them aligned in the same line. Okay, now let me correct this one. I will go here, comma, I will say sticky equals E. This will be standing for east. Let me run this one. You see name has come to here. Now it means that I have to adjust the text of name to the east. Here this row, this column has this east side and this west side. If I make it W, it will be here. Okay, now let's see this one, capital W, run it. You see name has come here. Now we want them all in the east, so I will make it E. Now let me copy these to the others, the same with this one and the same with this one. Now let me check it. Now all of them, they are arranged in the same line. So now I have finished the label part. Let me give the entry widgets as we defined in the previous video. Okay, let me give a comment creating the entry widgets. Okay, name underscore entry. Let me give it a name. So entry, capital E, this will be appearing on window. Okay, you can correct the background color and the background depth, the entry widget depth, and so on. Okay, let me give it the foreground color to be yellow, the background color to be equal to, I will use the code color, okay, quotation hashtag 666666. Okay, now let me give it a border depth of, I will show you this one later. Okay, let me use a font. Let me use this one, copy, paste it here. Now let me make this one. I have created here the entry widget. I have to make it appear on the screen. So name entry dot grid, then here row equals. Now this name entry widget will be in the same row as this name label. So now the row will be the same, row will be row 1, but the column will be in column 1. Here the column was column 0, but since the entry widget will be on the second column, it will be on column 1. Let me run this one. You see that I have this entry widget where I can enter. Now the foreground color is yellow, as you see. The background color is this one, hashtag 666666. Now let me make it this one more beautiful. Let me give it a border depth BD equals 5 or whatever. Now it looks more beautiful, attractive. Now let me give it the same and on the weight and on the height entry. Okay, let me copy this one with all its properties, paste again, paste here. Now here it will be weight entry, again here weight entry, then height entry, and here it will be height entry. Now I will fix these things. Okay, now the name entry was in row 1, the weight would be in row 2, and the height would be in row 3. Let me run this one. Oh, everything now is becoming more similar to what we are about to design. Now the other is I need a button here, a button that would calculate the body mass index, and a button that would clear my this data, and a button that would close the whole screen. Now let me go to creating buttons. Let me give a comment here, creating buttons. Okay, let me create the BMI calculator button. Let me call it BMI BTN. This will be capital B, then the button will be appearing on the window. and the text will be equal to, let me give it calculate BMI. Let me give it a background color of background to be powder blue. Maybe if you want, you can use any different colors that you want. Okay, then the font, let me use the font, this one, font, copy, now paste it here. Okay, let me make it bold if I want, bold, and I can give it a width of maybe around 24 and so on. Now let me make this one appear on the screen. BMI dot grid. Now what would be the row? Here I have row 3, but row 4 and row 5 would be the result of the calculation of BMI. So the button must be appearing on the 6th and the 7th row. Okay, now here row equals 6, column equals 0. Let me run this one and check it. Here I have calculate BMI, but you see that here, since the column is column 0, here it is on column 0. But what we want is this button must be appearing both in column 1 and in column 0 and in column 1, because it's spanning in both of the columns. Okay, now for this to happen, what I would do is I would write here a single command here. I will call it column span equals 2. Let me run this one. You see that now my button spans both in column 0 and in column 1. Now if I click it, nothing happens because I didn't give a command to this button. Okay, now let me create the clear and the exit button. Let me call it clear underscore button. It will be a button and it will be on the window, and the text would be clear. Okay, now let me give it a background color. Background, it was yellow. And maybe the foreground, let it be black, and let me give it a border depth equals maybe 8 and width of 11 and relief raised. Now if I want, I will show you one thing later. So clear button dot grid, then row equals row 7 and column equals 0. Let me run this one. Now you see I have this clear button and I have this the calculate BMI button. Now when I click this button, it becomes white, okay, the background, and this one it becomes white. If I want, I can change this one and I can write here, I can say active background yellow. Now let me run this one. When I click it, it's again yellow. Now let me copy this one and paste it on maybe somewhere here. Now run it. When I click it, it becomes yellow. I click it, it becomes yellow. Now I can change the bottom one to maybe green. So when the bottom this is clicked, it becomes green. Now let me correct the font. So font, let me take this one, copy, let me go one step down so that it becomes visible for you. Font, let me this one. Okay, now let me run it. You see that clear. When I click it, it becomes green. When I click this one, it becomes yellow. Okay, let me add the last button, that is the exit button. Let me copy this one, paste, let me make it exit button, and again here exit button. Now it will be on column 1. Now the text name would be what? Exit, and let everything else will be the same, but the background let me make it red. Everything else fine. Run it. Now I have this red exit button and yellow clear button. Now what I am expected is the name will be inserted here. Let me call it engineer. Then the weight would be maybe something 75, the other will be maybe 1.7 or 1.5, something whatever. Now when I click this one, it must give me the body mass index. Now how do we calculate the body mass index? So body mass index is calculated by the weight in kilogram divided by the height square in meter square. Okay, now if the BMI is greater than or equal to 25, the person is overweight. If the person is less than 18.5, it will be called underweight. But if the person is within the range of 18.5 to 25, that would be a safe range. So it will be in red, and the safe range would be in green. Now let me go back to my code. So let me return back to my code. Now when I run this thing, I get this, but these are not functional. Maybe I must adjust the dimensions of this one. Maybe here, let me increase the width here, let me make it 14, and again here 14, whatever it is. Now, and let me add here a border depth. Let me make this one more visible here. Let me add here comma, border depth equals maybe around 8. Let me run it. Yeah, looks better. Okay, now let me give a command for these buttons. Okay, now for the first one, calculate the button. Okay, for the calculate BMI button, let me come here and let me give it a command equals, okay, let me give it calculate, but this calculate is unknown, so let me define it here. Okay, let me define it here. Define calculate, then colon. What is needed to be calculated is when the person enters the weight and the height, the weight divided by the height square must be calculated. So now the weight, let me call it W, would be equal to what? The number that was inserted in the weight entry widget. Okay, here when the person enters certain value, it will be saved in this variable. Okay, so now this variable will take the input data and save it in here, but it will be in a string form. So now this string must be changed into a numerical form that could be most probably by the float type of number. Okay, now w must be equal to the weight entry dot get. So whatever the user enters, that entry would be saved in w, but now the entry that was inserted in weight entry will be taken as a string now, but w must be in a number. So here I will call it float of this one. Numbers are divided in, according to Python, into 3 basic parts. The float, that is the decimals, 3.5, 10.8. when you have a point something, we call these numbers as a float. If they are whole numbers, it will be called as integers, else, and the last one would be the complex number. So here, because the number, the person can be 75.5 kilograms, whatever it is, so it should be in a float form. Okay, now w will be saved here. Again, height h must be equals float, then height entry dot get. Whatever the user enters, it must get it. It gets it, converts it into a float, then it saves it inside the h. Now finally, I want to calculate the BMI. BMI equals w divided by, let me open a bracket, h square. For the square we use 2 stars, 2. Okay, w over h square. Now since w and h are floats, this BMI would be, the result of BMI would be a float. Okay, now we have calculated this one, but we have to give the result like this. Okay, we have to give the result like this. Now this is a label form, so I must define a label that will give me the result of the BMI. Now here, after this element, after the calculation has been carried out, let me define a label equals label that will be appearing on the window, and the text will be equal to, what is the text? The first one would be hello. Text would be hello space. Then the other thing that I want is, I want the name of the user. So the name plus name entry dot get. Whatever the user enters in the name entry will be gotten here. Okay, so it will be appearing with hello, then the name, then again plus your BMI. I give it here 1 space, then your BMI is semicolon, then what, plus, then the result of the BMI. Now this BMI is in a float form. I must convert it into a string form, because here this is string, string, and string. So here I will say str, then str of BMI. So the BMI will be changed into a string form. Now let me make this one appear on the window. Label dot grid row must be equal to in row, the button will be on row 6, then here this is row 1, row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, this is row 4. Okay, so it must appear on row 4, and column equals maybe 0. Let's check this one. Yeah, so let me call this one, let me call it Muhammad. The kg must be 80, this one must be 1.8. Oh, you see that it is appearing only on column 0 here because it's column 0. Now let me give it a span. Column span equals 2. Now let me run it. Let me give it a name here, Alex. Let it be 80 and 1.8. Now when I run it, it shows me at the center because the span is row 0, column 0 and column 1. Now these all numbers are not that much significant for me, so I want the number after the 2 digits after the point. I want it to be deleted here, so I must use some technique. I will show you this technique. Okay, now let me correct the font. Let it be like this. Copy, let me paste it here. Font on something. Now if I give it 80 and 1.8, then the text looks fine. Text looks good. Now let me show you how to take care of these things. Okay, how to eliminate these numbers, these whole numbers. Okay, now I must call a math module. Okay, here I will say import math. After this I will be able to use all the maths module in the Python. Okay, now let me come here. So I want, if you see this number, let me run it again. 81.8. I will multiply this number by 100, then this point will come here, then I will make whatever after this point, I will eliminate all of it, then after that I will divide by 100, then I will get 24.69. let me show you here. Now this, let me define a bracket here, okay, and a bracket here, this multiplied by 100, and let me close a bracket here and a bracket here. Now I will say this math dot floor, so it will give me the floor of the result of this element. It means that when I run this, for example 80 and 1.8, it gives me this number. You see, I multiplied by 100, then whatever after that I put it to 0. Okay, I eliminated them all. Now after this I can divide this whole by 100. Now if I run it, let me check it. 80 and 1.8, now you see 24.69. so now my label is fine, but these two are not working. Let me show you how to give the command. Now before that, let me give this one a beautiful meaning. Okay, I will make it give you the result whether you are safe or not safe. Okay, so let me write here an if statement. Okay, up to now we have not used if statements, so I will say if BMI is greater than or equal to 25 colon, I want a text, okay, a label. This label, let me copy this one. Okay, copy, let me call it overweight. Then I want a text to be you are overweight. I don't want the others, these others. Okay, you are overweight. The font, let it be like this, and the color, let it be the foreground color to be red. If your BMI is greater than or equal to 25, then a text that says you are overweight with a red color will be appearing. On what row? This is on row 4. I want this one on row 5. Now this label, it's overweight. Okay, now let me run this one and check it. Okay, let me this one 100 and the height 1.5. Calculate. It is in a red color. You are overweight because my BMI is greater than 25. If I run it again, let me give it 80 and 1.9 for example. No message. Okay, because I am below 25, and the if statement is only given for those who are greater than or equal to 25. Now let me correct this one. Let me add what if it is less than 18.5. okay, I will say Elif, else if, okay, it is similar to else if BMI is less than or equal to 18.5 colon, I want a label. You see here, when I click on enter after the colon, it runs 4 spaces. Okay, from here up to here there are 4 spaces. Okay, these 4 spaces must be always checked, okay, when you are using if statement and so on. So now here again, here I have underweight, and here underweight, and the row and the column will be the same. Now here you are underweight, and this is the color. Let me run this one. Let's be 60 and the height 1.8. Oh, it's not appearing. Let me click this one. What's happening? Okay, underweight if it is less than or equal to 18.5. now let me check this one. 90 and 1.5. you are overweight. Let me run this one. Let me have 60 and 1.9. you are underweight. You see the BMI is 16.82, and then you are underweight. Now you see that this window is smaller than I expected, so let me add the height here, maybe 320, whatever. Now looks fine. Now 80, and this is 1.8. now it's okay. Okay, now what if it is in between 18? If it's between 25 and 18.5, then here I will write the last code, which says the last code for the if statement, else. It means if it's not greater than or equal to 25, and if it is not less than 18.5, else colon, I want what? A label. Let me copy this one. It's very easy, okay, in Python. It's just when you write the first line of code very good, in a very good way, then the others will be just copying. Okay, wait, then you are okay. Let me write it like this. Now the foreground, let it be green, and the location, let it be the same. Now let me give it an 81.8. you are okay. But these two buttons are not working up to now. Now let me define the command for the clear button. Okay, so the clear button is here. Now let me define a command here. Command equals clear, but this clear is not defined, so let me define it here. Define clear. So what is the function of clear here? This function clear is going to clear the data inside the entry widget. Okay, inside the entry widget. here. So what I will do is name entry dot delete, then I will write 0 comma then end. Okay, let me check this one. Now the name, let's be Ali, kilogram 80, and this one 1.8. Now run it, then you are okay. If I clear it, name has disappeared, because here I have only said name entry must be deleted when the clear button is clicked. Now let me make the same thing for the rest. Copy, then here paste name entry, and here the weight entry, and finally the height entry. All these things must be cleared when I click the okay Baba, let me call it Baba 80 1.8 clear. So you are okay. When I click it, all the data has disappeared, but this label has not disappeared. Now here let these elements are variables. Okay, if this one, so this is a variable where the label is going to be stored here. So I have to define a universal or a global variable. Now let me call it a global result. So a function called result has become a global variable. So let this one be a result. Okay, the result here, then a result here, then result here, again here result, Now let me check it. So here this is Ali or Alex, then 80, then 1.8, maybe this one's okay. Clear, this one is cleared, but this one is not cleared. Now let me return back. Now here, these results that says that gives me the result that you are overweight or you are underweight or you are okay, are all stored in the result. So here clear must also delete or destroy this label, okay, the result label. So result dot destroy, it will destroy the result. Again here this label must be also defined by a global variable. So global, this is a label, so label, again I want the clear button to destroy that also. Now before destroying this, let me check this one. Okay, let me call it like this, 80, 1.8. Now if I click on clear, who disappeared? This data and the result, okay, whether I am okay or underweight or overweight. Okay, again let me run this one. Alex 75, 1.6. Now if I click on clear, because here the result will be destroyed, the name entry, the weight, and the height entry will be also deleted. Okay, now click this one, but this label is not being deleted. So now here I must delete this one, label dot destroy. Now let me run it. Let me call this one Muhammad. The weight 75, the height 1.75. Oh, you are okay. Clear. Everything is cleared. Now the final button is the exit button. So let me define here the command for the exit button. Here is, so let me come here. So command equals exit, but this exit is not now exit button. Okay, exit button. Now let me define the exit button here. So define exit button, then semicolon. Now I want the whole window to be disappeared. Okay, window dot destroy. Now let me run this one. If I click exit, the whole window disappears. Click this one, name engineering empire, the weight 90, the height 1.9. Calculate. Hello engineering empire, your BMI is this, you are okay. Clear. Everything is okay. Now George, the weight 85, 1.8. You are overweight. Clear. Okay. Exit. The window disappears. So I think this is all that we wanted. Now this name, the heading, is now located in column 1, but I want it to be at the center, so I must come here, the heading. Let me write here column span equals 2. Let me run it. Now here it is at the center. If I want, I can add some border depth. Let me give it here, border depth equals 8, maybe something like that. And then relief raised, let me make this one 5. You see, it looks like a button, but it's not a button. Now let me make 3 like this. Now this is how it looks like. Okay, you can change the color, whatever it is, so all these things can be corrected. The color, the background, it is yellow here, you can make it white, whatever it is. That's all for this video. If you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.